Leveling up is a must-need mechanic that not only allows you to have more health throughout the game, but also the ability to use different weapons or magic, and overall makes the game more manageable. So that begs the question, can you beat Dark Souls at level 1 without leveling up? Yes. Yes, you can. I'll be playing and ranking Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, this game sucks, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. And I'll be ranking them on a scale of 1 through 10, 3 different times, 1 for early game, 1 for mid game, and 1 for late game, and then taking averages to see which is the hardest. Now to start off, we have Dark Souls, my favorite game of the bunch.
I'm in the worst mindset I've ever been in my life.
I then named my character Jensen because I was level 1. Oh, this is the guy. Set our class to the Pyromancer, the level 1 class, and he has a bunch of weird looking stats. But that doesn't matter, because what does he have? Pyromancy, which just so happens to have 0 stat requirements and is definitely the most broken thing in this game. And trust me, I'll be taking full advantage of how overpowered it is. After starting the tutorial, doing 2 damage, oh, that's more my speed, and he's dead. I then get grabbed by this crow who puts me in Fire Link. And is it a bad time to say I forgot to get the master key? So now we have to go the normal route. I promise you I'm doing a no death run. After murdering every undead Bergian, we're already at the Taurus demon, who started pulling off stuff I've never seen before. He can do that! And got lucky. It's alright though, because we have Pyromancy, and he died. I then take a stroll in the park, and I die quite a bit in the same area over and over again. I then threw my balls in the boar's face, killing him. And now we have the basement key. Finally. Scurrying by this guy, cause he will kill me, I got this shortcut, and then I killed him. I then grabbed his Firekeeper soul and leveled up my axe slightly, because it's one of the only weapons I can use. I then go to the basement, there's these annoying dogs, they're dead now, and I forgot the key. So now we have to go back to this super crazy secret merchant, grab the key, and get this guy who will upgrade our damage later on the run, who sells a very expensive ring. Back in the basement, we now fight the most well-loved prized possession. Did I even get a second to think and balanced boss of DS1? What? Capra Demon and his 2 little pet doggies that for some reason are in this tiny little cubicle of an area. After many fireballs to the face and a lot of staircases, the rest of the fight went beautiful. After dying, cool. I went to the depths, did this absolutely crazy skip. Did this absolutely crazy skip first try, and I got the Pyromancer guy that will help us with our Pyromancy. I used him to upgrade my Flame Hand, and I got the Combustion spell because it's super easy to kill bosses with that. After reinforcing my Estus, we then went all the way back up to Undead Parish, where we needed Reading the Bells of Awakening. Okay, and also test out this new Pyromancy that I got by fighting the Bell Gargoyles. This boss took me an hour and a half on my first playthrough of this game, but luckily we have Pyromancy, and Pyromancy does Pyromancy things. Number 2 goes in and number 2 comes out. Almost cried how hard I was. Glad that's over. Was a little scared for them. I then rang the bell, but there's 2 of them and the other one's in the worst area in the game, and I don't have the key to that area. Oh my gosh. Firstly, I then got all this money, so I'm going to use it to upgrade my Flame Hand a little bit more, and I'm going to kick this guy off for the love of the game. Also for that ring, yes, but mostly for the love of the game. I then went all the way back down to the depths, where I died quite a lot because I need this Blighttown key. So that means it's time for Gaping D. D for Dragon. Not only does Gaping Dragon have a bad hitbox, but he also has a worse hitbox on attacks. Luckily, I have Pyromancy, which does damage.
Brick by brick.
Unluckily, he broke my Flame Hand. So now, my Pyromancy does less damage. And if you can't tell, Gaping Dragon has a lot of health, and I don't have the amount of souls or patience to run all the way back and get the repair box. So we're gonna scrap this one out. My +2 hand axe does questionable damage, so we're gonna stick with Pyromancy until we run out of both Pyromancies, and I'm just gonna hand axe them to death from there. Tick by tick. It took me a minute, but it was pretty easy, cause this boss is not that bad. I then went back to Firelink Shrine, where I upgraded my Flame Hand, and it just so happened to repair it. Did I know that would do that? No. I also bought Fire Orb, because bigger ball.
Beautiful purchase.
I then level up my hand axe to +4, and it is now time to go all the way down to Blighttown and die. How did that hit me? A lot. because Blighttown sucks. I don't like this place.
Why is there 27 people right here?
And I got cursed.
Wow.
So I had to go all the way back up to Undead Parish, cure my curse, and go all the way back down.
We did it!
I got the very needed bonfire, got jumped, died a little bit more,
Like, what is going?
and we actually made it to the bottom.
It's okay.
Twice.
Yes!
And we finally made it to the bonfire that I very so needed. I then got invaded. That invader proceeded to die.
You loser.
And now it's time for Quelaag. Yuck. Now Quelaag is one of 3 bosses immune to Pyromancy, and my +4 hand axe isn't gonna cut it. Even though the boss has about 3 moves, I die to them.
Right.
So I have to go all the way back up to Undead Parish and level this bad boy up. And you know what time it is. Time to go all the way back down to Quelaag. And now we do slightly better damage, but I still die to her. I then remembered I had the power within, which makes you do a lot more damage, but you slowly take damage over time. But the damage is so slow that it doesn't matter literally at all.
There's a literal ring of fire around her. What is this?
Spamming power within heavy attacks turns out to do a lot of damage, and Quelaag decides to sit still for most of her moveset, so she just died.
I almost died there.
I almost died there. Now that Quelaag is dead, that is the end of early game, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because Blighttown and the depths suck. I then rang the bell. You thought that was gonna be a sound effect, didn't you? Now starting off with mid-game, Sen's Fortress is now open. But before I do any of that, Anne Orlando is coming up, and I have to prep. Back at Firelink, I lowered my Flame Hand to level 11 and went all the way back down to Blighttown, where Pyromancer number 2 is at, who only pops up when you get your Flame Hand above +10. And I bought Great Combustion because it's combustion, but greater. I then ran through the Valley of Drakes, killed the Hydra, which unlocked this Golden Golem, who I murdered, which unlocked this lady, who gives me the Crown of Dusk, which increases my Pyromancy damage. Finally, getting 20,000 souls, I go back up to Firelink Shrine and get the Belling Dragon Crest Ring, which also increases my Pyromancy damage. Now it is time to go to Sen's Fortress. Now usually this place is pretty annoying, but if you played the game a singular time before, you would know it's actually very easy to get through. So I did it first try. So I got through it second try.
Where is this bonfire?
Because I have played this game before. And I killed this big golem because he's annoying. Now it's time for bigger golem.
Must have buffed him when
They must have buffed him from when I last played this game. They in fact did not buff this boss since the last time I played, because he's dead.
Man, that was hard.
And I am as well prepped as I could possibly be for Anne Orlando and the hardest boss in this entire game. But before we get to that, we have to fight an earlier boss in this game. He's dead.
Not really worried about this guy.
I then murder every single one of these interesting dressed people run by this weird pink guy twice for some reason, kill the really annoying bow guys, and hit this insane skip.
We do not care.
To skip about 20 minutes of running. I then talked to this really sweet blacksmith that nothing crazy is gonna happen to later.
You lying? Yeah.
But then I bought some Twinkling Titanite for later also. It is now time for Big Boy and the boss that gets repeated in further Souls games about 7 times. Now while ONS is a hard boss,
Crazy combo by them.
my damage is a little absurd.
I can't fucking compete!
Level 1 by the way, and they go down very easily, level 1 by the way, because my damage, level 1 by the way, is way too high. So killing Ornstein is like taking candy from Helen Keller, and Smo by himself is very slow, and he's also fat. So I killed him too. Wow, that was hard. Very hard boss turned very easy. And now we attain the oh yeah, Lord Vessel. The Lord Vessel allows you to teleport. So I teleported back to Blighttown and upgraded my Pyromancy Flame to level 15. I then teleported back to Anne Orlando and sadly put down this blacksmith because the weapon he gives is the best level 1 normal weapon other than Pyromancy in the entire game. I then instantly leveled up to +4 because I'm gonna need it for some future bosses. I then kill this random for a Firekeeper soul. Give me what I want. Thank you. And then reinforce my Estus Flask. It is now time to place the Lord Vessel, which signifies the end of mid-game, which was very short and very easy. so I'm gonna give it a 1.5. Ornsteinissimo is supposed to be the hardest boss in this game, but you're a loser. Now starting in game, I have to beat 4 Lord Souls before beating Pling Pling Plong God. First up is Bed of Chaos, but before that, there's 3 bosses I have to beat. So let's start with the worst one, because for some reason, how did that even hit me? Ceaseless Discharge is one of the 3 bosses that is immune to pyromancy. He also has undodgeable attacks for some reason. And when I tried to cheese him, he told me to kill myself. What good thing I got this weapon for a reason, and it does a considerable amount of damage. So he actually died. I genuinely think that might be one of the worst designed bosses ever. Very easily once I found a good spot to dodge. Now going to Demon Fire Sage, who is weak to fire damage. That's kind of weird. Now, it's time for Centipede Demon, who is also one of the 3 bosses that is immune to pyromancy. Good thing my hammer does a lot of damage, and this is that one boss from Night Rain, so he went down very easily, because I have played Night Rain before. Before I go to Bed of Chaos, I traverse all the way back to Blighttown and level up my Flame Hand as far as I can, because after you kill Bed of Chaos, this girl goes bye-bye. After murdering this random, it is now time for Bed of Chaos, which is the stupidest boss.
He tickled me off the edge
in this entire game. Holy trial and error until I beat the boss, which is what I did. Ah, you're dead! Worst boss in the game is gone! And next, Lord Soul, we have Seat the Scaleless, who I let kill me, but he also cursed me. So this next area, which is already annoying, gets more annoying.
Gotcha, bitch!
Whoever designed this place sucks. Luckily, I made it to the bonfire, which allowed me to get rid of this stupid curse. And now, it's time for Seath. Dude, he's got ads, bro. Who you can stand right below and then just murder, because my damage is a little too good. Wow, really hard boss, really difficult and stuff. That crab genuinely was a harder fight than Seath. Now it's time for our 3rd Lord Soul. We're gonna go to the Catacombs, hit 2 absolutely banger skips, and Pinwheel. He died. And now we're in the Tomb of the Giants. I murdered Patches because he's Patches, and after getting the bonfire, you can hit another 6 skip and get right to Nito. That's kind of neat. Oh, I'm sorry. The only annoying part about Nito is his skeletons. The boss himself has very easy attacks to dodge, and you can kind of stand under him. And he also doesn't have that much health. So by standing in Nito's groin, I could just win. Very easy boss. Very annoying skeletons. Time to fight the 4 kings. Oh, I never fought Sith.
Are you fucking dumb?
Time to go fight Sith. Twice. My damage is too good for this poor and helpless dog who's only attacking us because he made a promise to his master who is now dead so many years ago. Too bad I don't care. The little doggy died. The little doggy cried. What he didn't do, the little doggy didn't lie. It is now time for the New Londo Ruins, which I literally ran by every single enemy and drain the water so I could do this very cool skip to get instantly to the 4 kings. Now the 4 kings are usually a hard fight. No! Which at first they were.
No way! That does not hit me!
But they're basically just a DPS check, and my DPS is pretty high. Pyromancy is good. Along with the Giant's Hammer and the Power Within, this made for a very easy fight. Who cares about the 4 kings? I only need 3 of them. Now that the 4 kings are done, we can put the Lord Souls in the Lord Vessel, and now it's time for... He's just a chill guy. Pling Pling Plong guy. And I'm just gonna let you watch this one. Very hard final boss, very challenging. Yeah. He's really easy. I'm going to give late game a 3 out of 10 because almost every single boss is really easy, but some of them killed me a few times and the areas are quite annoying. And with the ratings finished, that gives Dark Souls 1 Soul Level 1 run an average of a 3, which I think is pretty fitting. And currently, it's the hardest we've done so far because it's the first one. If you guys like this new style of editing where it's quicker and funnier instead of more commentary, please let me know in the comments and like the video. Helps out a lot. It is fully based on Towering Pants because I love that guy. But be ready for Dark Souls 2 next week. I might even live stream it. Never played the game before, so it's gonna be a doozy. But in the meantime, watch this video because YouTube recommends it, and I do too.